second half. So a nice balance between those two in the Leeds central midfield developing.
It was a nice day for Rodrigo's in general, because Rodrigo Bentancur got his couple of goals for Tottenham. Thanks, Kenny. I was hoping you'd enjoy that one. Do you want to talk us through the winning of the game here? I want to talk
through his general performance. It was pretty abject. Him and Højbjerg in centre midfield were awful. It's the worst I've seen them play as a pair. It's amazing, Willie. You could pick the Tottenham performance apart. Defensively, two in midfield weren't good enough on the day. Kane on the periphery of the game. Yes, they've won the game 4-3. But this lad just came to life later in the game. Just got himself involved higher up the pitch, Owen. And he's actually a good finisher. More of a ball playing. He's happy enough to sit deep. The defensive header again from Cooper, not good enough, doesn't clear the penalty box. They actually thought being ultra-critical Tyler Adams could have disciplined himself and just remained a bit closer on the edge of the box.
Nothing he could do there with the deflection.
No, nothing he could do there with the deflection. But again, the simplicity, not dealing with the cross into the box. Now, this is the biggest example in terms of frailties at the heart of the Leeds defence. Good finish from Bentancur. But look at Liam Cooper here, the left-sided centre-half. Kulusevski is just going to spin and run in behind him. And look, he just can't react, just can't run. Koch comes across, sells himself far too easily. Your two centre-halves, just can't happen. Great play from Kulusevski, don't get me wrong. Great composure, head up. And Bentancur again arriving in the box. One of those situations, I think, as a player, you're thinking, do you know what, I had a stinker today. I've got to try and dig myself out. I've got to try and nick a goal. And that's what he's done. Not only has he nicked one goal, he's nicked two on the winning goal with that.
You said Kulusevski did well for that goal, and I think you were impressed with him generally. So if they can if they come back from the World Cup and they have all their attacking players,
another two centre-halves, a goalkeeper, another wing-back, dominant centre midfield player, they're going to stand a chance.
Yeah, OK. Well, what about their attackers? I wanted to get you to say something nice about them. I don't know if Richarlison did a huge amount today, maybe a little bit rusty, but
yeah, I think so.
Kulusevski back in the starting lineup.
Kulusevski, I think, was a standout player from kind of start to finish. A lot of indifferent performance in that Spurs team today, but I thought he was sharp from the start, considering he hasn't had a huge amount of game time. You could level the same argument to Richarlison, but he was up to speed early today. I thought he was dangerous in the opening 15, 20 minutes of the game, and he was still coming on strong later on in the game. So yeah, he was impressed before he picked up that injury in this season. He's picked up where he left off.
It is a funny one with Spurs. Gary Breen made the point in co-commentary there that Conte has a certain style and he's trying to implement it, but clearly whatever way they're getting results is different to how he would envisage it. Conte doesn't want these 4-3 matches, presumably.
Yeah.
It's a long-winded way of saying
defensively,
defensively they're not as strong as he wants them to be, but sometimes they can dig it out of a hole with their attacking play.
I suppose that's kind of good personality, attitude amongst the players, spirit. You can point to that as well. Maybe Conte has to take a little bit of credit for that. You know, don't give up, bit of resilience. I think we've seen plenty of that from Tottenham this season. I mean, you talk to Tottenham supporters, they're struggling to name games where, start to finish, they've really enjoyed the performance. Yeah, their team are sitting third in the league this evening. That tells you something, I think, in terms of kind of, the battle hardiness, the kind of resilience that's in that kind of Tottenham team. But they need to add to it, they need to improve it, because, there was some really indifferent performances, like I said, throughout that Spurs team.
Unless Newcastle beat Chelsea later on this evening, anything less than that will mean that Spurs will be third place going into the World Cup and therefore will be in there when they come back on St Stephen's Day. So would you see them as top four? I don't know if certainties is the right term, or do you think they will make the top four?
Not certainties. I think they've got a great chance, more of a chance. I'll make a similar argument with Newcastle. Start of the season, you look at the reliables, Manchester City, Liverpool, etc. Chelsea for them top four, whoosh. Forget about it. Chelsea, we've spoken about, Porto struggling at the moment, searching. Liverpool searching as well. So there's a real opportunity for Newcastle we've spoken about, and Tottenham in particular. But they're better than what they showed today. I've been critical. That was a poor performance today. But the team that was on the pitch today is far better than that. I think there's more to come from that Tottenham team. But if they can add to it as well in certain areas, they can get better and better. But they'll take some crumbs of comfort from that in terms of the manner in which they won the game. But Leeds really... any team bar Leeds today, I don't think Tottenham get anything out of that game.
Yeah, there you go. You can see the top of the table there. Who are the other ones you think on the bottom of the table, for that matter, for Leeds? We'll have a quick chat about Leeds now, actually, because they were in 12th place. They've dropped a couple of places already, 2 points above the relegation zone. It's going to be another grind of a season, isn't it? They're in and around relegation.
Yeah, but that wasn't the type of performance you look at and think, oh, it's going to be a grind. It was the type of performance struggling with their pass and struggling to create opportunities, goals, you know what I mean? You're thinking where the goals are going to come from, a little bit loose defensive. From an attacking point of view, last 3 games, you're thinking, wow, this is special. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing here. Individual performances, Somerville in particular, the kind of balanced cohesion I'm talking about. It's actually all there. It's coming together in midfield and forward areas of the pitch. Just has to find a solution. I think he's got to get out in January. He's got to buy a couple of defenders. They've got to start scouting now. If they can do that, get some better quality in those areas of the pitch, that'll really help them.
I felt bad for you, Kenny. You were working really hard on a Tyler Adams package throughout the match, especially when it looked like Leeds were going to win. It was all set, but ultimately there's not much point showing all his good play because they lost and he got a red card at the end. We can have a look at the red card if you like.
Yeah, this will be a blow. This will really hurt, losing him for another game. This was his first yellow card. Now I like him, he's tenacious, he wants to make tackles, he wants to be aggressive, and by and large he makes most of them, Owen, but he's just got to pick and choose, and this will come with experience. Can't win every tackle. You know, so at this level, players are clever. They'll see you coming, they'll lick it past you, and they'll do you a bit of frustration there. Team's 4-3 down. I can understand that, but this lad's a very good player. I'm a big fan of him. Done a lot of good today, but he's just got to calm down a little bit, show a little bit more awareness, and be a little bit more selective in terms of when he goes to engage. But I think that'll come with experience. He's only 23 years of age.
Where does it all leave their manager, Jesse Marsh? Is he still under pressure, do you think?
He's in meditation mode at the moment, from what I can see.
He's going up to Machu Picchu, apparently. Yeah, he's
he might be in medication mode when he goes into the changing room after the game. Now, like I said, I think it'll be a difficult one for him. He'll be wrestling with it a little bit. You can't get away from an attacking point of view. So a lot of pluses there. We've spoken about. I'm not going to repeat myself. I think it's pretty clear. It's crystal clear what we're seeing from this Leeds team. From an attacking point of view, oh, lovely, enjoying it. Defensively, car crash. It's simple as that. He has to rectify it. I don't think he has the solution within the football club. The solution isn't Firpo coming in at left back. The solution might be Dallas getting back from injury in the left back position and Struijk going in at centre half. That type of thing might help them. But yeah, it'll be a really frustrating one for him today. Difficult one to take that.
What about Conte on the other side of things? He's got his contract up next summer. He always gets asked about it. He was asked about it yesterday, and he said what he always says: "Oh, there's no problem with that. You know, we'll get things sorted." I'm paraphrasing here, but he doesn't really engage on that topic. If you were Daniel Levy, if you were Spurs, would you be just doing everything you can during this World Cup to convince him to stay and get him tied down?
Oh, I think so. I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's an elite manager. And I don't see the problems the Spurs are having at the moment isn't particularly down to him. You can say, well, he's a manager, he recruits the players, but I don't think he's got the players in there that he wants. He wants more, he wants better quality in certain areas of the pitch. We spoke about it already. Spoke about a keeper and one centre half before the game. I think if Eric Dyer keeps producing performances like that, it's going to be two centre halves and a goalkeeper, wing backs as well. I think central midfield has been ultra critical. I like Bentancur is a lovely player in there. Højbjerg for me is one of them, very dogged, good kind of character, but I think they can do better. That's why Bazoum was brought into the football club, but he hasn't found his feet. So I think they're still kind of searching. I think Conte's still pushing. He's experienced enough managers to realise if this Tottenham team is going to challenge for a Premiership title, and that's what the ambition has to be. It's certainly Antonio Conte's ambition. If he gets a smell, a sense of the chairman doesn't share those ambitions, whoosh, he's off.
Why would he not share those ambitions though?
Well, that means
surely he'll see.
Yeah,
if he's got a world-class manager, he's going to back the world-class manager.
Of course, Levy's going to say, you put a mic in front of him, do you want to win the Premier League? Oh, I desperately want to win the Premier League. But the proof's in the pudding. He's got to put his hand in his pocket. He might have to generate sales, get a few of them out. Someone will give you 20 quid for Emerson Royale at right wing-back. He might have to move a few on. It might be Matt Doherty, it might be Jed Spence, Sanchez. He might be able to generate 50, 60 million from players out the door. But he's got to throw another 100 million on top of that as well if he's going to get those top-class players in key areas of the pitch that they need.
A couple of games still to come tonight, including Wolves Arsenal and the Newcastle Chelsea game, which we talked about at the top of the show. West Ham beaten again by Leicester. We're talking about managers under pressure. It's going to start turning on David Moyes now, isn't it?
It's already turned. Yeah, even before we mentioned it before. Listened to a lot on the radio in the UK. West Ham supporters not having it this year. I can understand it to an extent in terms of I don't buy into this. They overachieved last year. I don't believe you can do that. But high level of consistency under David Moyes over the past 2 seasons. A lot of success in Europe as well, but it's been a big drop off and money spent as well. Samaka coming in, Paqueta, like really big money. Kerr, German international, he's really struggled. Centre half has been injured, so he's been back to a certain extent. The manager David Moyes. So I think increasingly probably this World Cup is coming at a good time for David Moyes.
Well, I don't know, maybe a bad time for some managers because it's a time that.
Yeah, I don't think he's
going to look at it and go, oh, well.
Yeah, he's not going to go. Don't get me wrong. David Moyes isn't going to go. He'll have an opportunity to rectify things second half of the season. Yeah. But I think for the first time, probably in a couple of years there, kind of pressure's been turned up on the West Ham manager.
Mind you, we could look in the opposite dugout and see what Brendan Rodgers has done in the last few weeks, because I thought he was out the door. In fairness, you were saying maybe not a few weeks ago.
You were saying, you're pointing the finger. Oh, you're going to pay me a compliment. I thought you were
a compliment.
Yeah, no, I think I've enjoyed what I've seen from Brendan Rodgers. Spoke about. There was a time there I thought he was one foot out the door. He was thinking, oh, can't be bothered with this, I'm off, you know what I mean? But he's dug in. I wanted to see him kind of dig in and turn the club around, show what a good manager he is. Easy to show, you know, when the team's playing well, top four, all your players are available to you, playing well, confidence is high. Yeah, I'm a great manager, have a look at my team. When you're lose players through injury, loss of form, disruption to the team, the whole place low on confident supporters, your responsibility as a manager to pull the whole thing together and get your team functioning again. And he's done that the past 3 weeks, so credit to him for that.
Kenny, the World Cup can't officially start until we get a Kenny Cunningham World Cup predictions. So who do you think is going to win the whole thing?
Oh my God, I haven't even done my homework.
I know, yeah, this is off the cuff.
Off the cuff, gut feeling Brazil.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How far will England go?
They'll get to Qatar. They'll go as far as that to begin with. It's all dependent for me on how the team selection from Southgate. I thought they had the best chance they ever had to win a major tournament last time around in England. I thought they blew it in terms of team selection. Didn't get his best players on the pitch. Takes the handbrake off this time a little bit. I think they'll have a chance to get to the semi-final or final.
Why
I don't see him winning it.
Why Brazil, by the way? Why is that the first country that came to
Yeah, it's more of a good feel. I don't think there's one head and shoulders from outstanding attacking talent. You could take your pick. Absolutely phenomenal. I think they're solid defensively. That's why I think you can actually give them the edge over England. England a little bit all over the place at the moment in terms of a central defensive pair, let alone a back three. Difficult to make an argument with the team going into a World Cup final, really searching, scratching around for a partnership at centre half. But I think higher up the pitch, England have some real quality. We know that.
There you go. We've got your